What does Kamasutra mean and what is this book about? Because I'm sure this is more than sex that's in
Okay.
this book.
So, interestingly, the Kamasutra is written in 7 sections. Most people don't know this. It was written in around 300 and something AD. So, it was written for men because this is a time when women are not taught how to read or write. So, it is written for men, and it's written for men of wealth and leisure. So, rich men who have the time to indulge in all sorts of fabulous things. So, it's basically about how to live their best life. Section 1 is on how to build your house. So, how do you find the perfect location for it? How many bedrooms you have? How many beds you have in each bedroom? Because the idea was back then that you did not have the bed that you have sex on, you do not sleep in that bed. The energies of the bed change. And in a lot of cases, if you have foreplay on one bed, you sleep on another one, you have sex on a third one. So there could be rooms with 3 beds, It told you in what season to have what kind of perfumes behind your head. And it says, in case your beloved passes wind or her mouth is smelling, because there's no room for bad smells in the world of seduction. It tells you how many hours the man should talk to his minor birds. 2 hours, by the way, in case you're wondering. It tells you how many hours he should have his massages. I mean, it's a whole different, it tells you what kind of garlands he should wear for what occasion. So the first section is on how to build your house. The second section, which is the only section that I think is worth keeping, following, working on, is on pleasure. It has a small chapter on positions. But
Just a small chapter.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's only a small chapter on positions. The rest of it is all about understanding pleasure, understanding that it is the woman's pleasure that has to be paramount because that's what will make your sex life fulfilling and satisfying and longer. So it was all about the woman's pleasure as opposed to primarily the woman's pleasure anyway. This is the only place where Vatsyayan addresses both men and women. And he says in his introduction, he says, people ask me, why have you addressed women over here? Why are you talking to women about, instructions on what to do? Women don't understand any kind of science. It is a colossal waste of time. And he says, I tell them, women understand this automatically, intrinsically. Men have to be taught.
Wow.
Yeah. So this has to be put together in a way that both people understand how they must give pleasure. And I like the fact that he says how they either receive pleasure or they must give pleasure, which leaves it open in the sense that if you're a man receiving pleasure, it doesn't mean that you only have to receive pleasure from a woman and vice versa. Anyway, and interestingly, it talks about positions, but it does not talk about the act of sex. It focuses fully on pleasure. Section 3 is about how to, for a man like this, how to look for the ideal wife. Section 4 is that if you don't have family, how do you marry this ideal wife? Like, who are the people that you'll use as go-betweens to pass your messages, etc., and the duties of this ideal wife. Section 5 is on how to seduce another man's wife.
Wow.
Okay. And this is a political thing because if her husband is very powerful and you want to access his power, what's the best way of doing it? You go through the wife. So it becomes a political thing. Section 6 is on courtesans because this is written at the same time as what is the book? Arthashastra. Okay. And Chanakya in his kingdom had made sex work legal. So there is a ministry for courtesans, for sex workers. There are rules around it. There's a lot of laws around it. And the courtesans apparently said to Vatsyayan, we get very confused. Can you write a chapter on this that simplifies things? So section 6 is on the rules around courtesans. And section 7, I believe, was added later. It's the Jadutona. Add the eye of a peacock to the poo of a sparrow and then mix it in some ghee and, that kind of nonsense. And I think that was added later just to sort of, because at every section in our history, I know that it sounds like, ooh, at that time, the Kamasutra was written. It was a very different kind of society. Society was always the same. There were people who thought it was great, people who thought it was bad.
We're still there.
We're still there. Actually, we've regressed a little bit, But there was obviously a point when people said, ooh, you're writing another book on sex. We don't know if we want this. So they added this to make it sound a little bit more acceptable. Okay, we're giving you solutions and so on. So that, in short, is the Kamasutra.